Good afternoon, everybody. It's Mike with smartoptiontrading.com. It is Friday, the 16th of September. This is our weekly recap, and God, it's been a long week. If you want to join us for commentary like this, real-time, actionable ideas, trades, either options or news or setups, come over to smartoptiontrading.com. Join us. You'll get commentary on the markets and click on live trading alerts. It's $25 for the first 30 days. We'd love to have you. Let's talk about this week because this week has been a very, very difficult week. On the daily chart, you can see we had the high from Monday and then we dumped on CPI and we're all the way down here. And I want to show you just how difficult this was on a 5-minute chart. And you can see here that the market was rallying into CPI. The market expected a strong CPI number that was basically non-inflationary. Instead, we got an extremely hot number and down we came, and then he had a vicious candle here, and this is where I lost a ton of money because I chased a short and I got knocked out of it because I was an idiot. And then I made that all back, then some, but it took me a long time this week. So let's talk about this. Here's your big down move. It came down, down, down. We went sideways for a day plus, and then we broke lower. We had PPI in this, we had retail sales, and then last night FedEx came out. They announced early and it was horrific. And then the CEO went on Cramer and said, we're going into a big global recession, and the market dumped some more. And here we are bouncing back into the quad witch with 386 again, the key area to break above here. So right now you have this market that's come way off the highs, back down here, hit the bottom of the Bollinger Band for all intents and purposes, and is bouncing back up a little bit. And a big gap to fill if it wants it. And the big place to retake is this trend line, the 8-day coming down towards it. So that's a mouthful. I get it. So what does that mean here? It means that we're in a very precarious situation going into next week. Now, the good news next week is there is no data, right? There is no data next week until Wednesday when we have the Fed decision at 2 o'clock followed by the presser. Gun to head, the Fed is going to go forward with a 0.75 basis point hike. I actually wish they would do something stupid like 1.5% and send this market into a tizzy and we can get out of this mess, but they're probably going to do 0.75 and then it really will fall on the presser and what Powell says at that point. Until then, we can go up, we can go down, we can go sideways and waffle around. This market is going to be hyper-focused on that 2 o'clock announcement next week because this market is now afraid. This market's now afraid because it now thought inflation was starting to come down and now thinks inflation's running rampant and out of control. And the Fed can't probably do all that much. So what does that mean for us here? It means we be cautious. When we talk about this week, I traded the ES a ton. I lost a ton on it and I made it all back and then some, and that was from my doing. But there were other things in play. And we talked about looking for names with relative strength or relative weakness depending upon how you feel. Do you want to be long? Do you want to be short? If you want to be short this week, we talked about it. I didn't do it short, but I know Bhaskar and several other people in the room, they took Meta short and they were rewarded, right? You had this uptrend last week. We said, don't touch Meta going into this downtrend up here. Sorry, I said uptrend, downtrend. Came down. We said if it breaks 155, it's a short. Smash below it. We're down at 144. We're at a multi-year low. That was an easy short. Apple, for what it's worth, has a head and shoulders top here. It has broken below it. It's pushing back to it here at the close and is smothered in puts. And when I say smothered, you can look on the left here. This is some of the flow. Look at some of this. The October 140s, 20-something thousand of them. Today, they were on the 135 puts. They were on the September 23rd 148s. They're shorting the hell out of this. So if you want to short these are fine on bounces. Microsoft also smothered in heavy puts. This is broken down to another low. What was stronger this week? Well, guys, honestly, I traded Tesla a few times, made some nice money on it. Other people did much better than me, and I never compare myself to them. Huge push up here on Tesla. Tesla, look at it, still above the 8-day relative strength, holding close to the recent highs. This is a name you keep on your radar until it says no more. Amazon, despite being a week here, was a stronger name all week, and today it's one of the first names to come back, showing strength. Netflix, Wednesday they had news, Thursday they had an upgrade, And today they pushed back up on a second price target increase. And this one, if it can get out of the Bollinger Bands, watch that 251 area and this big, big gap it has on it. So Netflix pushing up, showing some relative strength. There's that big gap that's sitting here, something certainly worth keeping our eyes on. And, those are the type of names I traded most of this week. And, I shorted the ES a bunch, made money on that. I lost a bunch on it, then made it back. I went long and I traded with my head on a swivel. And I'm saying that because, you cannot believe that this market, what it's going to do here. You need to have your head on a swivel and say, I'm going to be long, I'm going to be short, but whatever I'm doing, I'm going to have a stop in place. And if you cannot day trade because you don't have the money, right? This is a time where you need to say, I'm going to chill out and I'm going to wait for better action. Do not force trades into this. Do not chase candles. And that's the biggest problem I see with people. You cannot chase candles in a market like this. So bottom line is here, as we go into this next week, we have the Fed. We have a lot going on here. I'm flat. This close so far pretty good with about 15 minutes to go. And we're right back to highs of the day. I'll do charts on Sunday morning before football. And I wish you guys all a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And members, I'll see you in the room on Monday morning. Thank you so much. Good night, everybody.